Did I say sausage already? I can't emphasize that enough. Wait, that sounds actually not good. I'm going to go. Let's go. Let's try that again. I can't emphasize sausage enough. That is not what I want to sound like on the video. Hi, I'm DeVonn, and today we're making a spicy peanut butter based noodle sauce with pad thai noodles and sausage. I really like this recipe because most of the ingredients you can probably find in your refrigerator or pantry. The cool thing about the peanut butter today is that we're working with Lavi, which is a Haitian-based peanut butter company, and that's why I have my friend Suki on the Zoom call today.
Hey girl, I'm so excited to be here. You look spectacular.
What's up? Can I borrow that shirt, please?
Oh my God, can I borrow yours? I mean, seriously.
I'm always trying to figure out what's the best way to support Jamaican brands and Haitian brands and any sort of Caribbean diasporic company, small. It's really important that we do that. So tell me about Lavi.
Basically, we launched because in Haiti, more than 60% of the population relies on farming for their livelihoods. Peanuts are such an important and essential crop there because they're really cheap protein. And we like to believe these farmers are entrepreneurs in their own right. I mean, they've been cultivating the land since they were kids. And we essentially just wanted to give them the tools to be able to do what they do best so they could compete in the global market and empower the communities themselves.
This peanut butter is really special because it's got a little bit of Scotch bonnet in it, which I, for one, love. Can you tell me a little bit about why that is and just like the flavor of the peanut butter in general?
In Haiti, peanut butter is a staple just like it is in the US, but ours is savory. The product is actually made by my fabulous colleague, Sergeline René. So she is a Haitian woman, and she basically framed it off of an old family recipe. So her mom used to make mamba as when she was a kid, spicy peanut butter. So she just replicated that exact like simplicity of the ingredients and just like pulling from natural resources. And basically there wasn't really a market for spicy peanut butter outside of Haiti before she conceptualized this idea. It comes from a Black woman, a boss in her own right. And I think it's so important that we support more brands that also represent not only Black culture, but Black women specifically.
100% an icon. I love the recipe. I was really inspired that the peanut butter had all these like really complex notes. It's spicy, it's sweet, it's savory, it's a little salty, and obviously it's nutty as well. And so what I wanted to do was make a sort of like my rendition of a pad thai peanut noodle sauce with a rice noodle and smoked pork sausage.
All right, well, even though I can't be there, I trust you're gonna do us proud. I'm so happy and excited for this collaboration. That sounds like the absolute perfect meal. DeVonn, you always kill it, and girl, do your thing. You got this.
Thank you. Talk to you soon, love.
Bye, love.
So now we're gonna get into how to make the sauce. So what I have here are 4 cloves of garlic, and we're gonna give them a press with the back of our knife. I'm just going to take the skin off and pop the garlic out. And then in my bowl goes all of my ingredients. I'm gonna set this onto my cutting board. Just take a handy microplane and process all of the garlic into the bowl. So grating garlic is really important because what you wanna do is create a more well-rounded flavor and texture and pretty homogeneous mixture when you put everything into the bowl. Take probably like 2 inches of ginger. I always like to knock it off into kind of easier shapes to work with. You can use a spoon to take off the ginger skin. The skin causes bitterness in the sauce and it really doesn't have that much flavor to it. We're gonna take the ginger and we're going to grate it with the microplane into the bowl. And ginger is also very aromatic. With every swipe, you get a little waft of ginger smell. It's basically like a little nose detox, honestly. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to just add in all of the liquids. I'm gonna take a spoon. We have the agave that we'll add. And I'm using agave as opposed to using honey just because I wanted to try to keep the sauce as vegan as possible. It's really important that a recipe can adapt to all sorts of dietary restrictions so that a lot of people can enjoy it. And then we have our sesame oil, rice wine vinegar that go in as well. Coconut aminos. You get coconut aminos from the fermented sap from coconut palm. So you have something that's kind of akin to fish sauce, but it's a bit sweeter. You don't actually have the anchovies, so it's vegan. And a bit of salt to give it that kind of savory flavor that I think really pairs well with the peanut butter. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to just add about a 1/4 cup of peanut butter to the bowl. I'm using 2 types of spices. We have the chili paste, and we also have the spice that's coming from the peanut butter. And I like to mix my spices because the way that spice hits the back of your tongue or different regions of your tongue is always different depending on what type of chili you're using. So Scotch bonnet, it's spicy, but it's also kind of sweet. It has this very round spice, whereas chili paste kind of like is that tickle at the top of your tongue, at the tip of your tongue. So those differences are important. We're gonna add just kind of like I think a 1/4 teaspoon. And so I'm going to just now give this a mix. You wanna make sure that your sauce actually sticks to the noodles and sticks to the veg. Oh my God. This peanut butter is phenomenal. Cool, so now that our peanut sauce is done, I'm gonna set the sauce aside and we're gonna start prepping our veg. Scallions are really cool because they're kind of like a more mellow, oniony flavor, but as you process them, when you slice them, you wanna make sure that you put them into an ice bath. And that's important because you wanna make sure that you're pulling out that pretty like delicate, but still oniony flavor, and you're left with something that's like a crisp, cool, refreshing green. I'm gonna chop off that end. And then I like to just cut my greens and the top separately, and then just cut them on a bias. Let me go into the ice water. I like to cut it at a bias just because it's mostly stylistic. It's mostly me trying to be cute. I'm gonna give this a swirl. Just make sure that they're all completely touching water and submerged. Start with the cabbage. So halfway through the stem, and we're just gonna go ahead and just take out the core. Cabbage is a really resilient, sturdy vegetable, but if you break it down a bit thinner, once the acid from the rice wine vinegar and the lime juice hits the cabbage, it'll start to actually break it down and have it become a bit more soft and mellow. So we're going to just do thin slices on the board. And then yellow carrots, I'm going to peel these. I mean, this color is iconic. The cool thing about cooking and food is that like it's usually one of the only ways that a lot of people get to experience other cultures if you're not traveling from place to place. And so cooking is really, I think, kind of like that thing that transports you to a different destination and also helps you to really just appreciate diversity and appreciate other ways of being and other ways of eating. Again, this is our I'm gonna take 2 Thai bird chilies, and again, this is how we're kind of like layering our spices, right? And you can kind of use this based on your own sort of spice level preference, but I'm gonna go ahead and use 2. Seeds and everything. I wanna make sure that this starts to break down a little bit, so what I'm gonna do is squeeze a little bit of lime juice into the bowl. Gonna roll it around, get those juices flowing. I'm gonna take half of a lime, give it a squeeze, and then I'm gonna take 2 pinches of salt. And then what you wanna do is you just wanna make sure that you give it a stir, just to make sure that it's completely coated in the citrus and the salt. Okay, so let's get started on the noodles. I'm using as the packaging says, traditional pad thai rice noodle. Rice noodles are really good because they're super absorbent. They're also a bit lighter than your typical sort of like Italian pasta noodle. Throw in the noodles. So then I'm gonna transition on over to my sausage. Today we're gonna use a sweeter variety of sausage, a sweet Italian sausage, but you could use any sort of like pork sausage you wanted. This dish is really adaptable, so essentially like if you're vegetarian or vegan and you wanna, stick to tofu or seitan, you could totally do that. So what we're gonna do is we're going to add a tablespoon of a neutral oil. I'm using grapeseed oil here. Just have it on like a medium high heat. The oil's gonna heat, and while that's happening, I'm going to just uncase the sausage. Okay, so once all of the sausage is uncased, just break it up into sort of like the width or diameter of a quarter, so that you kind of have like these sausage chunks. So once all of my sausage is in the little shapes, little mounds, I'm just gonna slide them off of the plate into the pan. We're just gonna make sure that the meat is actually brown all the way around. So as you can see here, you have really great browning on one side. We're just gonna flip it and get it going on the other side. And one of my favorite things about cooking dinner in my house is that it was always like a fun challenge to make a dinner happen. And I think that's a really cool thing about like growing up in a West Indian Black immigrant family, is that you were always trying to just like find combinations and be creative with what you could make. And sometimes it was inspired by my family's history in New York. Sometimes it was inspired by my family's history in Jamaica. But the most important thing is that we were spending time together and cooking together, and that's what food does. So now we've got really good color all around. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to finish the noodles in the skillet. And the reason why I'm gonna transfer them over to the pan is actually because we want to make sure that we're not wasting any of that really delicious, incredible sausage juice. So all that flavor is just actually gonna go into the noodles. And so once that is done, I'm gonna turn all of my heating elements off. And so the next step is getting the noodle salad sausage dish together in a bowl. I'm gonna start with pouring my peanuts onto my board. I'm gonna give them a rough chop. And these are already roasted. And so peanuts back in the bowl. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of oil and a couple pinches of salt. And then I'm just going to give it a little mix. So we're just gonna go fishing for our scallions. Might get a little bit of ice there, it's fine. We're gonna let that drain. Grab all of my other stuff. Grab a big bowl, because essentially what we wanna do is combine everything together into one dish. I'm just gonna start with half of the peanut sauce that we made. And I'm just gonna coat that in the sauce. And then I'm going to take my cabbage and carrot salad and add it to. We want to give this a stir. Oh my God, this smells so good. And I'm gonna take half of the peanuts that I have here, and I'm just going to add this to the bowl as well. Okay, so we are basically 80% there with dinner. It smells so good, and now it's time to plate. I love cilantro for a dish like this because I feel like it adds this level of freshness and herbaceousness to the dish that I think it really needs. And so I'm just going to chop off the bottom row of stems, but I like them as like kind of like really big, fun, graphic elements for the salad. Transfer this in. And then what we're gonna do is we're just going to take our scallion, add a bit to the top. We have a bit of cilantro that we're gonna just keep on the sides to garnish. And then I'm going to take peanut and put it into the top as well. Oh my God, and last but not least, lime. Gotta finish with lime. So we're gonna take one lime that you can squeeze and have like a fresh burst of lime when you start eating it as well. And so there you have it. We have our spicy peanut noodle dish featuring the incomparable Lavi peanut butter. And let's see how we did. Wow, that is so incredible. So much depth of flavor, so simple to come together. The dish is really good. It's bright, it's got heat, it's got sweetness, it's nutty, it's a textural fantasy, it's an adventure. The sausage is cooked perfectly, and the cilantro is herbaceous. It's kind of lifting it up a bit. And it's really, really easy to make with pretty low-cost, accessible ingredients. I think that Suki and Sergeline and everyone at Lavi would be so excited to feature this dish and see that their peanut butter has been put to good use. And I'm excited for everyone to try it at home too. Let me know what you think. Till next time, till the next recipe, enjoy making dinner. Smells so good. Ah! Can I do that? I'm just kidding, I won't do that.